Hey there riders, Moto Journo Kris here today, and I wanted to talk ergos on the new Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650. Let's jump on top of the bike. As you can see here, a nice low seat height. I'm 180 centimeters, 32-inch inseam, and so this is a much lower bike than what you'll see in the naked bike segment, which means if you're a shorter rider and you want an easy to manage bike, this is probably going to be one of the best options for you in the segment. As you can see here, we've got a nice easy reach to the ground. The bike is a little bit wider, which isn't unusual with cruisers, but that is the price you pay. And the lower seat certainly offsets that, so I wouldn't be too worried about it. As far as the weight of the bike, these are a heftier machine, but you don't really feel the weight on the bike at all, so it's very easy to jump on one of these and ride one as a new rider. Getting my feet up on those pegs, you've got kind of that forward style control, very, very natural, nice, easy to use foot brake, nice easy to use shifter, nice quite light clutch, quite light indeed, so that makes it again easy thing to use. And then on the front end we've got the adjustable levers, so if you're a smaller rider or if you've got bigger or smaller hands, you can have no issues there. Vision of the dash, nice and easy. Good mirrors, good vision through those mirrors, plenty of adjustability there as well, so you shouldn't have any issues with that. And then you've got these tall, quite wide bars. They are significantly wide, but that gives you a lot of leverage. I find the seating position nice and natural, very upright, view out in front of you. You don't really even have to glance down at the dash, it's all within view. And you do have kind of the little navigator as well on the bike as standard. The seat itself, it's a nice sculpted seat and you sit right in it. And I will say, I just think everything works perfectly for me at 180 centimeters and a 32-inch inseam. And I'm about 75 kilos as well. You've got non-adjustable shocks there on the front, but you do have preload adjustment at the rear, so you can just adjust that rear a little bit for the rider weight, and if you have a pillion on the back as well. I wouldn't say this is specifically designed to have two people riding long distances on it. It's probably more so a one-person machine, maybe a two-up machine for shorter distances, but that shouldn't be an issue whatsoever on this bike. So seat height is 740 millimeters or 29.1 inches, not the shortest of the beginner cruisers, with some below the 700 millimeter mark. However, still a relatively enticing seat height even for somewhat shorter riders. The bike is wide, which is usual of cruisers, and part of the comfortable seat, which narrows at the front. The seat not being overly low also gives a more balanced overall ergo rather than the low seat and relatively taller bar combo, which is maybe a bit more in keeping with the cruiser theme, but less functional from my perspective as someone who doesn't ride cruisers daily. Tall foot controls give good cornering clearance, although general ground clearance is the usual for a road bike, with a center stand well tucked away under the bike. I was really impressed with the cornering ability though, and while you can run out of cornering clearance, it's not top of mind, which needs managing in the way it does with some of the other cruisers, although that's certainly less of a concern in the beginner segment. There's light front end feel, but good stability. The optional screen does add a little bit of weight here, and my preference was the bike without it. However, either way, the bike doesn't have that super heavy front end feel of some cruisers which require a bit more muscling around, especially at low speeds when we're talking about bar inputs. Long distance, you'll want the touring seat and backrest, and probably the screen too for the extra wind protection. For my height, I found there was quite a bit of buffeting from that screen, I'd say because of the cutout design to reduce the air pressure it creates. Naturally, helmet and height come into the equation here, so this will vary greatly from rider to rider. There's natural long reach to the foot controls, but easy to grasp wide tank if needed, which generally it isn't. Foot controls are also rubber clad, making them bulkier, but comfortable and easy to operate with good grip. No issues with vibes from the feet controls or the bars either. The standard seat for me was very comfortable, nicely sculpted design, which makes you feel like you're in the bike, not just perched on top of it. The touring version was also good and is an accessory, but I wouldn't have said I saw a huge difference between the two personally. Other riders, however, did find the touring seat significantly better. The exhaust and intake offer a nice soundtrack, but nothing overwhelming for those who might be worried about a loud bike, with a nice balance of character at low volume, so if you're worried about a loud bike, don't be. Little details like the tie down points at the top of the shocks are nice to see. There's additional heat shielding on parts of the exhaust too to help prevent the rider or pillion from being burnt, with the throttle body mechanism also protected behind the head. Levers are the thicker cruiser style design, but the grips aren't the ridiculously thick style that some cruisers run. Complaints about the Super Meteor's ergonomics are really few and far between for me, so for much shorter riders that seat height may be a little tall compared to some of the competition, so that's what I'd look out for if you fall into that category. free. If you're in a shop and checking out the bike, get them to throw it onto the center stand for you so you can get both feet up and see how you like that ride triangle, which includes the foot control placement and reach to the bars. But don't forget to check the reach to the ground from the side stand, as this is the more true to life height while riding the bike. So as you can see, the Super Meteor is a very inviting machine for riders of all shapes and sizes. I would definitely recommend you check it out if you are a shorter rider, and don't forget to check out the full video review. Thanks for watching, see you soon, stay safe out there.